So what do you think about the study of H.R. 40? You know what I mean? Because, I mean, that study is
the reparations bill.
Yeah, it's the reparations bill that's supposed to see and determine, who gets reparations and how much reparations.
Well, let's take it a step further. The state of California legislature just approved in the past few days a bill that will give each African American in the state of California $233,000 as a reparations payment.
I think that's some bullshit. I think Gavin Newsom is just doing that because reparations is going to be the buzzword for 2024 to get black people energized.
It is, and it's also a trap. Now, first of all, the reparations movement comes out of the Pan-Africanist movement. We gave birth to reparations. It's not anything new. That's our thing, although it's for the whole people. A cash payout for reparations is a trap. And the reason a cash payout for reparations is a trap is because so much of what needs to be fixed in American society for African people will take more than cash to do it. In other words, I give DJ Envy $233,000. Or if I take the Bob Johnson plan, he said each American African is due $350,000, right? I give you $350,000. Does that stop mass incarceration?
Nope.
Does that stop miseducation? Does that stop gentrification? Does that stop police genocide? Does that guarantee us access to wealth? I mean, in the state of California, what can you get with $233,000? I'm not even sure if that's enough for a house. And on top of that, the minute they give you the payment, they can reduce the value of the payment through inflation. So I can flood the economy with money so the $233 is only worth $120 in about 24 hours. And then guess what they're going to do after they give the reparations to African people? They're going to find subsidy programs to give to the LGBTQ, to the women, to immigrants, to other people. So at the end of the day, what looked like a step up for black people would be a step back. If I was in charge of the reparations conversation, number one, control of all black music must only be done through the black community. No non-African can control our music. Prince, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Biggie, Tupac, if the publishing, if the marketing, if the promotion, if the recording is not controlled by black people, that has to change. We own our own music. Nobody can own, sell, produce, publish, promote black music but black people.
Why is that so important?
Because music is one of America's leading export industries. America makes more money off black music than almost anything else that she sells. So if we control the music, we have a steady stream of global revenue where we can build a black Wall Street in every single city in America for black people. That's how much money will be coming in from black music. That's one. Two, all black inventions return to us permanently. Everything we invented is a permanent patent for Africans. And if you want to use it, you must pay us a percentage. The cell phone, we invented that. Internet, that's ours. Helicopter, that's ours. Self-lubricating engine, the microphone, the stop sign, the walkie-talkie. Why are those lights on right now? Because a black man named Lewis Latimer wrote a textbook that taught China, the UK, Canada, and America how to light up a whole city at night. Without Lewis Latimer, you don't get street lights at night. You don't get constant illumination anywhere in the world. So guess what? Anybody running lights, you paying black people. Take back ownership of our music. Take back ownership of our inventions. Next on the list is all the confiscated lands. We had hundreds of thousands of acres of land stolen from us between 1865 and Malcolm's assassination in 1965. We need to put together a research team that's going to investigate all the land that was stolen from African people and return it back. Since most of our people are dealing with homelessness, we have the highest homelessness rate in black America since the 60s. If we can get our land back, that will go a long way to getting a lot of our single mothers and their children off the street. In addition to that, America has about 10 major exports: gold, oil, water, electricity. We get a 25% cut permanently. This is perpetual. Every time America makes a dollar, we get 25 cents of that dollar as part of the reparations payment. American Africans, 60% of us, make up 10 states. All 10 of the states that represent 60% of us are seaboarding states. We should automatically control the port so we know what's coming in, what's going out, and we also get a percentage of that. But here's my biggest issue with reparations. Three. One, psychological damages. I'm not hearing enough of the reparations talking heads discuss enough about the psychological damages. You know you can get far more from what you're owed psychologically than you can ever get for 243 years of unpaid labor on the plantation. The psychological damage is what what affects us the most. Every time you see a black man with a white woman, that's psychological damage. Every time you see a black woman with a blind wig on her head, that's psychological damage. Every time you see a little black boy or girl playing with a white doll instead of a black doll, that's psychological damage. When you see a black man take the life of another black man, that's psychological damage. America owes us more for the psychological Holocaust than she can ever owe for the labor. So we need to talk more about that. In addition to that, I don't hear nobody talking about the role the Arabs played in the transatlantic slave trade. I don't hear anybody talking about the role that the European Jews played in the slave trade. I don't hear nobody talk about the role that the Catholic Church played in the slave trade. If we're going to talk about reparations, bring every group that was responsible, those who financed the slave ships.
That'd be Nigerians too, though.
Okay, let's talk about that. There was participation from some African kingdoms. We know that Dahomey, for example, which was popularized in the Lion King movie. The Woman King movie. There was some African participation, but guess what? The transatlantic slave trade was a European operation. It was controlled. It grew. It was financed by Europeans. When many of the African nations found out what was really being done to us, because in Africa, there was no concept of chattel slavery. There was no such thing as owning people forever. There was no such thing as perpetual ownership of an entire family line or a bloodline. You understand? There was no such thing as being dehumanized. European slavery stripped African people of our humanity. There's no precedent for that in the world before European chattel slavery. They didn't know what they were getting into. They were wrong and can be held accountable. But let's not take the onus off of the true power structure behind slavery, and that was the white man.
I didn't say Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese was in it. The Dutch was in it. The Italians was in it. The Germans was in it. Who didn't have a hand either in slavery outright or colonization that came after it? And when you factor in colonization with slavery, you can't possibly blame an African nation for that because they suffered during colonization as much as we did in slavery.
Thing I noticed, a lot of us are stumping for the reparations thing. We're stumping for reparations heavy. But notice you see a lot of people within our society try to speak down on reparations because these are some goofy people who are not game ready. Truth be told, family, a lot of people within our community, and you know, we do have some undercover tethers who kind of talk down on reparations, but you have black people who are even FBA. When you start talking about reparations, they start coming up with all of these excuses. You think? Yeah, they would. The Breakfast Club. They were talking. You know, the reparations conversation came up, and I've been having the reparations conversation with a few people, and we hear the same thing. Man, you know, we don't need to get cash money now. If we don't get reparation, we don't need no cash money. We got to get something else. What else besides cash money? What else besides cash money? Well, we need some land and we need, no. We can buy land with the money. We need cash money. See, the thing is, we're getting real close to the reparations thing now. We're getting close to it because now we're talking lineage and we're talking dollar amounts. And out here in California, they were talking about $200,000 per person. Now you got people, well, that ain't enough. That ain't enough money. We got to have more money than that. We need more than that. We got to start there. That's a start. We got a bunch of homeless black people out here, man. Let's stop playing. Cats start talking against getting something. You got to watch that. Cats start talking against getting reparations. You know why? Symbolically, they love symbolism. And truth be told, let's keep it a buck. There's a lot of black folks who are scared of reparations. We need cash money. Somebody's talking about $200,000 per person. That's a great start as far as I'm concerned. That's a great start. All right, let's start there. I'm willing to start there. $200K per foundational black American in California. I'm willing to start there. That's a great start. Then we can build on that. Don't start, man, that ain't enough. We got to get more than that. Then it gets into plebiscite babbling. Let's start off there. That's a start. We got so many homeless black people out here, black people struggling, starving, $200K per black person. You can get a lot popping with that. You can get a lot started with that. As opposed to not getting shit. We're the only people who got folks within our community who will sit down and talk against money. If somebody said they're going to give $200K, hell, if somebody said they're going to give $500 to every Hispanic, they're not going to complain. They're like, we'll take that and let's negotiate some more later. They're not going to say, hey, that ain't enough. They'll give me that $500, then we'll negotiate later. They're going to take that money. They don't give a damn how low it is. $200K is a great damn start. For every foundational black American in California, great start. Nigga, if you don't want your $200K, sign it off to me. It's a good start for me. That's a great start for me. I'll show you how to flip that shit. Fuck y'all talking about, that ain't enough. Like, we ain't got shit. As a group, we ain't got nothing right now. As a group, that's owed to us. Yeah, they owe more. Let's start somewhere. Let's start there. Cats get into plebiscite babbling, and that's a deflection because a lot of cats are just scared of reparations. No, $200,000. No. We're gonna need more than that. We're gonna need some money for land. We're gonna need some money for medical. We're gonna need about 10, 15 million per person. That's what we need. Well, damn it, if we don't have the $200K, how are we gonna get the 10 million? We gotta start somewhere. We gotta start somewhere, fools. All that plebiscite babbling, that's for people who are afraid. They're afraid of money. They're afraid of getting a reparations check. You know why? Because if you get a reparations check, a lot of black people think, listen, there's a lot of black people who think when we get reparations, they think white people are going to be like, okay, y'all do you. They're scared of that. They're scared that white folks are going to be like, okay, we done broke you off. Go ahead and do you. Because a lot of folks don't have confidence in themselves. A lot of folks don't have confidence in themselves. You get that $200K and start flipping it, start winding it up, start making some moves, start starting your own businesses. We can start getting a parallel economy with that money if everybody's getting it, if you know what to do and you be on code. But a lot of folks out here know they're not. They don't want to be on code. They don't want to be on code because a lot of them low key don't like other black people. They don't want to be on code. You dig? And then they start coming up with all of these excuses because of fear. They come up with all of these excuses because of fear, because there is no code. A lot of these folks know they're going to trick off the whatever little money they get. And my thing is this, the argument, well, if we get the money, we just going to mess it off, because I was having that conversation with some folks the other day. If we get that money, we going to trick it off. If there's some folks who want to trick it off, let them trick it off. Because if there's 20 people and you give them $200,000 in reparations, 5 of them might trick it all the way off. But I guarantee you that other 5, they'll damn near change the world with it, because you give us a little bit and we can turn it into a lot. See, I'm not going to sit here and judge black society based on the lower level denomination. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because we have so many brothers and sisters who can get a little and flip it and take a lot and make a lot out of it. Many of us can get a little and make a lot out of it. And there's going to be some black folks who's going to do some phenomenal things with the money they get. And that's why so many people are threatened by us getting reparations, because we're the only group who can have obstacles thrown at us 24 hours a day, and we can still manage to find a way to still thrive in the face of opposition without getting any type of specific set-asides of benefits. Whereas other groups, they have to be uplifted by society and not sabotaged in order for them to be on an equal playing field. That's why don't let no other people tell you about how we need to be like other groups. The hell we do. Other groups get help. Other groups are not sabotaged over here like we are. They're not sabotaged. They get away with murder. Other groups are not sabotaged like us. Their businesses are not sabotaged like ours. At all. These folks are allowed to operate with damn near impunity, no matter how janky they run their businesses. We and our businesses are always sabotaged. And we have to go the extra mile to protect ourselves without any protection from the dominant society. So we're different. And they understand once we get some equal compensation, they know we're going to be through the roof. They know that. I'm not tripping on some like dusty Negroes and hood rats getting weaves and shoes with their money. I'm concerned about the brothers and sisters who's going to get their money and invest in some type of invention that we need, invest in other businesses that we need. I'm looking at the brothers and sisters who's gonna flip that money and do some real fly shit with it. Because if you can't, somebody said it in the room, you can't flip 200K, you ain't about shit. There's many of us who can flip 200K. Some of y'all in here, I know some of you will get that 200K. You ain't gonna be down at the flat screen store and the shoe store. You gonna be out here doing some fly stuff with your paper because you've already been game ready. There's some people already who got a template of what they're trying to do. All they need is additional funding. So when additional funding comes, damn, you off in the races. That's what we mean by people being game ready. Yeah, there's gonna be some riffraffs. We gotta stop judging our society by the lowest common denominator, the riffraff sector. Everything about black society, it has to be filtered through what a dusty nigga and a hood rat is doing. I don't give a damn what a dusty nigga and a hood rat does, dude. They gonna be who they are. The decisions on what we get as foundational black Americans should not be filtered on the actions and the ideologies of the Walmart dusty nigga pajama house shoe brigade. Who gives a damn, man? That has to be our representatives. We find the lowest common denominator and then make that the representative. No. Give us the damn money that we're owed so that my thorough FBA brothers and sisters can show you how to do it and show you how to flip that money and do some fly things. There's brothers and sisters out here who have all types of skills. You have brothers out here who are artists, who know how to do art and do tattoos. You give that brother 200K, that brother go somewhere, invest in a building, put up a sign, invest in advertising, and bring people in and start doing tattoos. That brother's making $1 million, $2 million a year. You got sisters out here who know how to cook their asses off, make sweet potato pies or whatever. That sister go get her a storefront, start making them pies, get an oven with that money, start making $2 or $3 million a year with that paper. You got sisters out here who know how to do hair real good, do eyelashes real good. You go ahead and use that 200K to get you a standalone business, get your license together, put some chairs in your shop. You start making bank. That's who I'm looking at. I don't give a fuck about what no damn hood rat and dusty nigga do with the money if they want to trick it off. Well, we're going to trick the money or we're going to let them fuck it off. Who cares? Let them do it. Who cares? If a nigga want to invest in a mixtape career, let him do that. Let them do that. I'm looking at the black folks who ain't going to be on the goofball stuff, who's going to do some real fly productive stuff. That's who I am clicking up with. That's who I want to click up with.